All right, family. We live with the general. You already know what time it is. We got that fire. We're gonna be talking about this pagan idol, golden statues, or Donald Trump being put up. I believe in D was in Florida. I don't. I think he put some up in DC too, and so I guess he's just putting them up. And so yeah, I wanted to talk about this because this is really how they came into Egypt with the Serapis. You know what I'm saying? They come in with the Serapis, remove the black icons, and start putting up these Neanderthal statues, for worship and things of this. Now, yeah, this man's a pagan idol. And these this MAGA is nothing but heathen worshipers. You see, they didn't put up, this motherfucker, the Antichrist. You see, all the things that people talk about, this is him. Yeah, he's down to Antichrist. He wants to be worshipped. That's what it is, man. He wants to be worshipped. But he already done showed that, man, when he got into it. And I'm not at all for no Pope. I ain't at all for no Christianity. But see, they fighting for that to be the vicar of Serapis. You see, the vicar of Serapis. And if people don't know who Serapis was the Greek deity that they tried to force onto the ancient Egyptians when Alexander and the Ptolemies conquered Egypt. They tried to remove the black Messiah, the Lord of the perfect black, Osiris, and put up a Zeus, synthetic knockoff hybrid, trying to usurp the powers and the authority of the black Messiah, Osiris. And so here it is, he didn't put down trying to erase all our black icons. They're not to be worshipped, but they are to be venerated, for they fight for our people. And so they want you to, and he wants to be, he wants to be the vicar of Serapis. He wants all the adoration of the people, especially MAGA. You know what I'm saying? But especially is that's who he wants. He don't give a goddamn about nobody else. You know what I'm saying? You ain't nothing but fucking crumbs to him. You see? But this just show you, man, that Donald Trump has a God complex. He's most definitely got a God complex, and he's so narcissistic. He's a he's a psychopathic narcissist, and putting these images up all over the showing you how fragile he is. He's fragile. He can't. If the people love you, you ain't got to do all this. But see, he have to. He's one of them people where he had to put in place all the necessary what is they call where he's gonna make you worship him. He's gonna make you worship him. And so I mean, they need to take this shit down. This is no different than how they took and put the damn in Memphis when they had the pyramid up there, and they had the white Sphinx up there, man, just a Caucasian Sphinx. Just had an all white Caucasian Sphinx sitting in front of the pyramid. This is no different. You know what I'm saying? This is white idolatry. We can't, this is white idolatry. Heathen worship. What a man wants to be, and I mean, he's just setting it up. And it is Serapis because everybody he's setting everybody that come after him, just like in Egypt. Each preceding Greek ruler was the vicar of Serapis, just like the Pope is the vicar of Christ, as is. That's what it means. As is Christ. You see, as is Serapis. He's the vicar, so he takes the place of Jesus, the vicar of Christ, the Pope. He takes the place of Jesus after Jesus supposedly ascended up. So when you say vicar, as is Christ, so the vicar of Serapis, as is Serapis. So he's setting himself up, and everybody that come after him in that MAGA line, They gonna be the vicar of Trump. You see what I'm saying? They're gonna come. He's gonna want them. He's gonna build a dynasty. You see, he's gonna build a dynasty. That's saying something. And everybody gonna go to these statues, no different than like them Roman. He think he Julius Caesar, man. Yeah, but did you see what happened to Julius Caesar? See, did you see what happened to Julius Caesar? Julius Caesar, believe he didn't believe in sharing no power. He didn't. He didn't believe in sharing no power. He wanted all authority. He wanted all power. And in his own inner circle, man, a lot of his inner circle, man, took him out because of the simple fact that he did not want to share power. You see, and so, but he's falling in the same light. He wants to be like the Caesars. He got a complex, man. He got that. Yeah, he like Caligula and shit. You know what I'm saying? He attack anybody that don't go. Man, that motherfucker like Caligula. Julius Caesar, putting these, statues in the Roman, it's been a lot of people, but no, I haven't seen anybody. You get your statue after you dead and gone and shit. You know what I'm saying? Every blue moon, yeah, after you retire, even the sports athletes, they get a statue, but somebody make it of them. You don't make your own shit. Shit, you know what I'm saying? People put the statues out there and shit after you didn't put, you didn't gave to the city, and the city rewards you because you did a good job for the city, and they support you, for all the good games, and you know what I'm saying? So they support you, and they'll put you a statue out there. You don't put your own goddamn statue out there, man. You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker got a God complex. But again, this is the Serapis. This is just how Serapis was forced upon the people, but they didn't accept it then, though. Even in Egypt, they didn't accept the image of Serapis because they knew that was the European. They knew that was his image. And so, they rejected the worshiper. And we should, and I know damn well people don't, but some motherfuckers will go out there, take pictures with it. Yeah, but that's the same thing. You see, come on, man. You supposed to be hard body, and you gonna go out there and take a picture with that's just like they took, people start pulling them damn statues down. You know what I'm saying? All them racist, Confederate, generals and shit. They got damn statues of all these damn Confederate generals and shit, and all these racist motherfuckers enslavers, plantation owners, and all of that. Got statues, so they start. So he coming in light. He's just here to, to energize that base who feel, they like, a lot of their statues were tore down. So he wants to come back, and I heard they've been putting them back up. I heard that. I wonder because, soon as Donald Trump, that one Confederate general who was the head of the Freemasons, what was that motherfucker's name? He wrote Morals and Dogma. I don't know why I keep forgetting his name. I don't know why I keep forgetting his name. Pike. I'm glad you always coming in. Albert. Yeah, Albert Pike. Yeah, Albert Pike. He popped in there. Yeah. So they had pulled his statue down, poured paint off, spray painted it, and Donald Trump, soon as he got it, he put it back up. They supposed to had, cleaned it up and put it back up. Let me see. Let me see if that motherfucker. Let me see if they put that statue back up. Did they put the statue of Albert Pike back up in Washington, D.C.? Yep. They put it back up. Yes, the National Park Service reinstalled the statue of Albert Pike in D.C. Judiciary Square in October 2025. The monument, which had been toppled by protesters in 2020, was restored and put back up following a federal executive order. So they put it back up under his executive order. You see what I'm saying? So that show you something. Black Power family. Yeah, Albert Pike. I'm glad y'all came right on in. Yeah. You say what? Slave portrait of riding the pale horse. That'll be a good. You done gave me an idea, Ray. That's a good one, man. Oh man, you done gave me a good one. Oh yeah. That's a nice one right there, Ray. You came with it. I'm gonna have to make that up before I go to bed, man. That's a hot one. Yeah. Albert Pike. Y'all know what it is. I've been saying, but I be so mind, I be spitting information out, and I've been teaching on this motherfucker for damn near 30 years, and it be still slipping my mind. If I ain't on Freemasonry, I be on something different, and then I had to get back in. That let me know I got to open up my damn, I got to get in there and work out. Yeah, I got to get in there and work out and get that Freemasonry back open. That's all that's saying. You know what I'm saying? And it's about to happen. But yeah, family, he's on the Serapis trip. He's on the Serapis trip. He wants to be worshipped as a god, and what I'm telling you, it's gonna fall just like. So the next person that's Republican, they're gonna run as the vicar of Donald Trump. That's right. You know what I'm saying, and that's how it's gonna be until somebody topple that dynasty. You see, until somebody topple that dynasty, and but that's just like Ronald Reagan. You know what I'm saying? Most of them, and they still, for a large. Ronald Reagan was that guy. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wanted to run in the likes of Ronald Reagan. You know what I'm saying? And I believe some of that still is in them. They still look to Ronald Reagan. Even Donald Trump. You feel what I'm saying? And so, yeah, most definitely the Serapis worship is on in the United States. And we are very aware. But a lot of these Negroes, you gonna see them out there taking pictures. A lot of these FBA MAGA niggas, they're gonna be out there taking them a picture in front of, they daddy Trump. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be out there taking pictures in front of with their daddy Trump and their American flag polo shirt on. You see what I'm saying? Out there with penny loafers and shit and all of that. But anyway, family, I appreciate y'all for this evening. Thank you very much for your support. Get over there, Patreon, support the general, and I'll see y'all later on, family. Most definitely Black Power.